Hello, everyone. This is Cherif Medawar. I'm so glad you're able to join me on this call. This is very exciting. I want to talk to you about $1 million recipes to making millions in real estate. I want to start with a little disclaimer here. I'm a hedge fund manager for real estate. As you know, one of my websites for my funds is MIXIF, Medawar International Group Secured Income Fund. And I have an education company, seminar company. We've had it since 1999. CMREI.com, Cherif Medawar Real Estate Investing. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, but I do have full-time attorneys and a lot of CPAs that work with me because we bring you the latest and the best in the market for real estate investing, syndications, asset protections, and tax reduction. These are the areas we focus on. In today's call, I'm going to actually talk specifically about the subject of money. If you want to see our new website, sfifund.com, this is a great site for $100 million fund that we're doing, and we'll talk about that later for co-syndication opportunity to join me as we grow into the game of raising capital and deploying it in residential and commercial real estate. I am an author and an education as well as a real estate fund manager, so you can see my books. We have them on the website, the cmrei.com, and Amazon, etc. So today's webinar topic is going to be about the most important skill to acquire and to master in 2016. And what is that skill? I know you may be thinking of many skills like fixing homes, finding the best deals, maybe making negotiations happen, etc. But I'm going to tell you the most important skill is raising capital. The question that often comes up, what comes first? Should I have the money or should I have a great deal? Well, I agree that a great deal will attract investors, but there is no doubt in my mind, in my history of doing real estate for now 30 years, having the capital attracts the deals. Not only having the capital attracts the deals from the market, but it attracts it from the banks. Hard money lenders would want to partner up with you instead of just loaning you money. The brokers will actually give you what's called pocket listings. I mean, it's endless when you have what I call proof of funds. So let's talk about the formula I use. I have a system when I teach, and I call it the DCBA. D starts for definition, as you see here on the screen. I define the words first. Then I talk about the concept, why this thing is created, what does it mean, the business model, the 1, 2, 3 behind it, and the application for success, how to take action and make it happen. So without further ado, let's get busy and let's start talking about the definitions. I want to define a few terms for you. One of the most important things to know about capital is you have to have personal credit. Personal credit, you build it by having credit cards, by applying for loans and paying them on time, paying them early. But there is also something called business credit. Business credit is when you set up an entity like a limited liability company or preferably a C corporation. They can have their own tax ID, like you as an individual have a social security number, and you build credit under that social security. For business, you build business credit under a tax ID for the corporation or the LLC. You apply for cards, you build credit. I go extensively in my live events explaining how to do both. Even if you're personally bankrupt, if you've tried and failed, that's okay. It's better than not have tried at all. But you can always build business credit. And you can start small and you can stay on it. You can build it. I want you to know something. Building credit is a skill. Getting loan is a skill. It's not by luck. It's a skill. Building rapport with lenders, etc., knowing what they want and giving it to them and showing them the proof and building that from scratch into millions of dollars is huge. So the definition of personal credit is something around your social security. Business credit is under a tax ID number of an entity. Creative financing means something creative with a seller. Usually you can ask the seller to carry the note. That means they carry the financing. You make them the payments. Maybe a lease with an option to buy. Maybe what's called a wraparound mortgage. These are terms that I train, that I talk to people and train them how to do. That's called creative financing. What is non-creative is just going to the bank, putting a huge down payment, 20, 30%, and getting a loan. That's non-creative. That's what's called traditional financing. There's also something called partnership and versus joint ventures. Partnerships are when two individuals get together in a deal. Joint ventures when several entities, two or more entities, get into a deal together. Now, there is something called syndications. As you see, all these terms revolve around the world of finance, real estate, and getting capital. Syndication is when you group individuals together to actually have them give you the money as the syndicator, or also called the sponsor, and then you're able to deploy the cash into deals for them. Now, to do that, it's under regulations by the Security and Exchange Commission, and there are regulations like 506B, Regulation 506C, that have certain rules on how to do that. We will talk more about syndications. I think it's the best way to raise capital. It's the most powerful way to do business. It's the no money down of the 2000s and beyond. Now, accredited versus non-accredited investors. When you're going to solicit investors, when you're going to talk to people to give you money to do deals, they fall under two categories under the SEC's eyes. Accredited investors are those that have a net worth of $1 million, excluding their home, or they could be making $200,000 a year if they're single, or $300,000 if they're a couple. Non-accredited investors are those that don't make that. They don't have a net worth of $1 million. They don't make $200,000 if they're single. They don't make $300,000 if they're a couple. Business plan is something you must have. It comprises who are the people involved in the transaction, what kind of unique selling proposition you have with that deal, what's the market gonna bear, why do you want to do the deal, how much you're gonna pay the investors, what do you expect in terms of returns, what is the time frame, etc. That's called business plan. I have very specific strategies how to develop business plans, and if you've listened to any of my other webinars or attended my live events, you would know how to do a business plan in an hour. Some people spend weeks trying to develop one. It's really not that complicated if you have a formula for it, and it's not so difficult. It's just a few bullet points: the people, the product that you're dealing with, the positioning, the performance you'll have, and the profits you're going to bring in. Very simple. I call them the 5 Ps. Now, number 7 is the PPM. What's a PPM? The definition of PPM is the private placement memorandum. When you're going to actually go and solicit money from people, you have to announce to the SEC, I'm going to raise capital, I'm going to deploy it into deals. They want to see that in a PPM. Private placement memorandum is something that you file with the SEC. A Security and Exchange Commission attorney drafts the document for you based on your business plan. It's also called PPO, private placement offering. And it could be that people will give you the money as debt, so you owe them the money, or as equity. That means they will share in the upside profit or in the loss of a deal. So an SEC attorney, that means an attorney that is trained for the SEC. It's not like they work for the government. They are actually private or maybe just an attorney firm that are trained for these type of transactions and paperwork. You will go to them, here's the business plan. They charge about $25,000 all the way to maybe $70,000. Some charge a little bit less or promote less, then they charge you more based on, things that you will ask them, going back and forth to adjust the document. And rest assured, it's not like you can go to an attorney and say, I'd like to borrow money for an apartment building, tell me what to do. They don't do training. I do the training. You go to them and you say, this is what I want based on what I will be training you on, and you will give them the direction. They will do it for you, put it in legalese. Raising capital, the term raising capital meaning getting the money together to deploy it into deals. Now, there are ways to raise capital for one deal. So you say within 90 days, we'll raise, let's say, $2 million to acquire this $5 million hotel. So that's raising capital for a specified offering. Or you can have what's called a revolving offer, which is I'm raising money to do hard money loans. I'm raising money to buy discount notes. I'm raising money to buy homes in foreclosures. That could be a revolving deal. For example, my fund, one of my funds, MIXIF, is a debt fund. That means people give the money and I pay them 6 to 8% based on how much they place. It's fixed. They don't have any hassles. They don't have any liability. There is risk, but no liability. They cannot get sued because they're lenders to the fund. The fund acquires properties, high-end homes in San Francisco. We rehab them. We sell them for millions of dollars. Actually, if you go to mixif.com, you'll see we have a home for sale now at $12 million, another one at $11 million, a third one coming up on the market in a couple of weeks for $11.5 million. These are individual homes in high-end neighborhoods, and people buy them all cash, actually. It's just amazing when you go over 10 million, you're dealing with a completely different type of clientele. But the point is, I'm raising capital. I put my own money in my fund. I raise capital, and then I go deploy it into these type of deals. So I have written a business plan, submitted to an attorney who wrote a PPM based on my direction, and I'm able then to create the syndication. I also created a new program at the end of 2015, and we tested it already and improved it, like the SFI fund, and that's Secured Fixed Income Fund. And I do co-syndication. Co-syndication is when I say, I'm the syndicator, I'm the fund manager, I am the sponsor, but I'm going to get some people with me to co-syndicate with me so they can have instant credibility with the SEC. They can have prior performance with the SEC. People will perceive them different as fund managers, but they're with me, like into an apprenticeship, if you will, into the big game of raising millions of dollars. And that is different than FOF. FOF is fund of funds. When you have your own fund and you raise money, you can't find a good deal, you can put that fund, that money from your fund into, let's say, my fund. So my fund is a fund of funds. That means other people that have funds that can't find good deals, they can deploy the money with me. Why would they do that? Let's say I pay them 8, but they're paying the investors 6. And the question is, would investors accept 6% return? Of course. Many investors out there have 1% return or 2% in CDs or municipal bonds, or they go into the stock market. You know, REITs for the longest time had an average return of 4.25%, real estate investment trust. But in private funds, you can make a little bit more, and that's just very important. A lot of opportunities to grow in the business, and I wanted to define a few of these terms. And while I'm at this, I want to define coaching versus mentorship versus apprenticeship. People ask me about that. Coaching is like, it's usually done over the phone. Somebody tells you what to do. You want some coaching? Somebody tells you, do this, do that, do this. They're coaching you through. Go make an offer. Let's take a look at it. Go do that. A mentorship is when you tell somebody, hey, I need to acquire, let's say, I don't know, gas stations. So somebody goes into your market and mentors you through it. Usually it's one-on-one, etc. Apprenticeship, in my opinion, is the best level of getting the exposure because it has to do with being with somebody that does the business. Like co-syndication is like an apprenticeship. It's like coming in with somebody that's willing to have you as a co-sponsor, and you get to practice, you get to see how to raise the capital, you get to see how the capital is deployed, you get to practice, get corrected on how you practice it, and then you can fly solo. You can go on your own, create your own fund, and make it happen. So that's the gist of the definitions that I wanted to go through. A very important set of words that we got to understand. The concept here is you need money to make deals happen. Everybody knows this. There are many ways to raise money. You can raise unlimited money, or you can just raise specific money for a deal. What's better? Of course, you want unlimited capital because that gives you the bigger deals where there is less competition. And once you have proof of funds, that's when deal flow comes to you. Now, the best way to create a structure on the concept, best way is to create a structure that allows you to actually go out there and make the deals happen. Now, how do you do that? You got to actually have a syndication. Now, a lot of people have strategies. There is no shortage of strategies, I assure you. Having a strategy is you go out there and you buy a home and you fix it and you flip it. You work your heart out. It's a lot of risk, work so hard. I want you to work smart. I want you to understand there are structures. When you get the money, you can actually team up with developers out there that will be chomping at the bit to come in with you because you will have the money, you'll have a structure, and you can actually pay them based on the results they bring to you and to your investors. Ways to do it, ways to grow, but you have to have the knowledge, you have to have a structure. So you also need to create and expand business credit for yourself. When you expand business credit, you're able to make magic happen because you're not just depending on your own personal credit. That's a must. The most successful people are those who know how to work with others through proper structures that are safe, legal, and profitable. Now, I'm very careful how I choose my words. Let me tell you, a lot of people are solo out there, meaning they just go out there, find the deal, work the deal, find people to work under them, etc., and that's it. They can only do so much. You can only spend so much time, money, and effort. If you learn how to create relationships and structures, you will be able to scale the business, but you have to think that it's for the greater good. When I started structuring things as a win-win-win for me, for my investors, my associates, my partners, everybody is able to grow and there's a lot less resistance. Cooperate, don't compete. That's the concept of how to raise capital. You can do this no matter your financial situation. You can actually be a syndicator, you can be a sponsor, you can start your own fund, even if you did not have the best credit in the past or the best history. If you know what you're doing and you're able to follow certain direction, you can be very successful at it. So what's the business model to raise money? There are many business models, okay? So you can go to a bank and get a loan. Everybody knows that one. Needless to say, you identify a property, you go to the bank, preferably a local bank, say, I want to buy this property, and you make it happen. You just have to put a down payment. That's the traditional way. There's no more 100% loans that I know of. Now, you can get a loan from a hard money lender. Those are equity lenders. They say, okay, we're going to loan you. You're a bigger risk, and we're going to charge you a higher interest rate. Many ways to structure that. You can use personal credit cards. Many people built credit on credit cards, got cash advance, and then went and did their first deal. A little bit aggressive. You better know what you're doing. You're going to take a lot of risk. You can either make a lot of money or you can actually just be out of the game very quickly. Build and use business credit. That's a lot better. It's outside your name. It's in a business entity under a tax ID, as we explained earlier. That's another business model to raise money and create that business credit. You can do creative financing with sellers. I mean, how about if you do combinations of these things? Get some cash, give it to the seller, and then ask the seller to carry a note. That's creative financing with sellers. You can create partnerships, especially with contractors. These have been some of my best deals where I went over and I said, listen, guys, I bought this property. You know how to rehab it. I'm going to give you the opportunity to rehab it. So what I did is I put little money, had the seller carry the note, the financing, went to a contractor, had him do the work, and then we sold, made profit, paid off the seller. The contractor shared some profit with me, and I came out with a lot less money, a lot less time, a lot less effort in the deal. If you can leverage this, and if the contractor was on the call now, he would be telling you, or she would be telling you, hey, I found this guy who went, got me the deal, but took his, put some money into the deal, made the deal work with the seller, and I got in, brought in my crew, used my credit cards with the Home Depot and this, we did all the work, and guess what? We made a lot more money with a lot less risk than when we go and work our heart out for pennies on the dollar. So everybody wins when you structure it right. Number 7, set up joint ventures. Joint ventures like when you say, okay, I'm an entity, I'm a syndication, and there is out there a contractor company or a development company, and there is an architect, etc., and you say, okay, all these firms will come together, we're going to do this project. That's a joint venture that could be very, very profitable. Or you can create your own syndication and get individuals to invest in your own fund. That's extremely powerful. I'll talk more about it here in a minute. Or, of course, you can just turbo your results and join a hedge fund manager like me who's up and running and is willing to create some spots for some people to say, okay, you add value to me, I'll add value to you, and let's take this game to another level. In today's webinar, I want to talk about the joint venture, the syndications, and joining a fund manager. So let's talk about number 7, which is joint ventures. Is basically you find a great deal, bring in a development company or other investment firms or developers and create a partnerships. Hey, I got this deal, let's partner up. You see, I know you've heard a million times, find a good deal and assign it. I go beyond that. I think assigning it is just, it's so basic. And so many people try to bypass you or wait till your deal expires. I've heard horror stories. It's good fantasy out there, but let me tell you the reality. You got to add value. So try not to assign the deal and stay involved in the deal. Tell them, look, I'm going to give you the deal, but I want to manage the day-to-day rehab. Why would you do that? Because you're going to learn. Here is your apprenticeship. Here is your opportunity. Get into the business. And then when you figure it out, you can work on the business, not in the business. How about if you try not to assign it, but you tell them, I will bring you the deal, and I'm willing to pay for part of the deal. I'm willing to pay for the material. I'm willing to put the crew together. I'll bring in more investors to add capital. You see, these are the ways to create joint ventures. Is it hard in the beginning? Everything is hard in the beginning. I bet even whatever you do now, if you think of the beginning, it was hard work. But what's better is when you create the structure So the hard work pays off on a residual basis. See, that's what most people can figure out because they're so busy being busy in whatever they're doing, in sweat equity and hard work to make a dollar, they forget that they can create a structure and create the structure attractive enough for others to come and make money with them. So let's talk about how you set up your own syndication. You create the structure to raise money for specific deals or on an ongoing basis as needed. For example, for me, I set it up in a way that it's ongoing. As I raise money, I deploy the cash. People invest with me. If somebody deposits the money on Monday, they accrue interest on Tuesday. Why? I have high-end homes, or rehabbing, or flipping the homes, etc. So there is constant cash reserves, cash being deployed, several deals in, out. But how do you get there? You write a business plan. You get an SEC attorney to write a private placement memorandum for you. I mean, it could cost $20,000 to $35,000 or more. It depends on how much back and forth you do. I mean, these attorneys, I mean, the cheapest I found was $295 an hour. SEC attorneys that really are trained to do this, and I've never seen it. I mean, never seen it less than 15, which was just what they promoted, and when you just called and figured out what it's going to cost, end up being 25 or so. So number 4, identify and attract the right clients. You got to find accredited investors that want to invest with you, those that are interested in investing in a passive way, like many professionals, many people that have tried and failed their own. And for them, by the way, it's a lot better to pool their money together and give it to you who's got the good deal and good process, etc., because you have a syndication which is filed with the SEC, so you're not trying to still go make a small deal. You're making a bigger deal that has bigger potential profit, and their risk is lower. You start pitching to raise the capital on a regular basis. Now, as of last year, thanks to the Jobs Act from Obama, there is a way for us to promote these funds. In the past, since 1933, these were private funds. You couldn't advertise them. You could only talk to people with whom you have an established relationship. I taught that since 2009, and I'm telling you, last year in June 19 to be exact, was a very, very exciting date because that's when the SEC announced Reg D 506C. You can do it in certain ways, and you can now publicly advertise your fund. It's amazing. You follow the rules, and you can grow very big, very fast. And number 9, partnering up with an existing and successful syndicator. Guys, I mean, I got to tell you, I've been a syndicator for 6 years. I've raised millions of dollars. We've done over $100 million in transaction between my personal portfolio and the portfolio of MixSafe under my fund. I have over $100 million in assets. And I got to tell you, it's not so difficult. But to start, you'll have so many roadblocks. You have an attorney telling you, what do you have? What do you want to do exactly? How much money do you have? You go to investors, they say, what have you done before? You go to get the deal, they tell you, how much money do you have? They ask you, how much money do you have? So you keep running into these walls. And, when we surveyed the database of students, investors that we have, I've been in the business training people since 1999, March of 99. It's over 15 years ago when I started training people in a professional manner through a structure of seminars, etc. And we surveyed the database last year, and everybody said, just help me get into the bigger game. Show me the way. And I got to tell you, so think of co-syndicating is joining a successful syndicator. So you get the guidance to draft your business plan. You get guidance to deal with the attorney and finalize your private placement memorandum. And you can even use fund of funds. You'll know how to actually set it up in a way that you can use other funds, or other funds can use you. They can deploy money with you. You can deploy money with them. You get the instant credibility when you're with somebody like me, or any other syndicator. If you find somebody that will take you under their wings or have you co-syndicate with them, you get instant credibility because right there, your name will be filed with the SEC as a co-manager of an existing fund. And then you can go and talk to people as a fund manager. You'll be under what's called the exemption rules of Reg D 506. Extremely powerful. You can talk to people and raise capital. Instead of having lunch with somebody, talk about politics, or talk about the weather, or talk about sports. Forget that waste of time. Talk about money. It's so exciting. And talk about people, how they can actually change their present condition in life, change their future, and you show them what's in it for them by investing little chunks of money, and you, with the co-sponsor you're with, can actually make a complete transformation for their financial life. And you will learn how we identify the best deals in the market, and then you will eventually be able to grow on your own to make it happen. So what's the business model to raise money? Again, we talked about all these steps. That's the business model. You go to a bank, you go to a hard money lender, use your own credit card, build business credit, do creative financing with sellers, do partnerships, do joint ventures, or best yet, create your own syndication, or even better and better is join a hedge fund manager to get started with the lowest risk, the lowest learning curve, and the most impactful credibility you could have. So what action you need to take? Learn the business of syndication to invest in real estate. That's the future, guys. Learn how to put a structure in place that is legal, safe, and profitable to scale your business, even if you're just starting the business. Understand the SEC rules to best apply and scale your real estate investing business for residential and commercial. And it's also for notes. Understand residential notes, residential deals, commercial properties. There are basically 12 different commercial properties, for apartment buildings, office facility, medical buildings, retail, hotels, etc. We don't want to go through all of them. We actually have a training called Commercial Real Estate Roundtable, where we've gone through the 12 different types of commercial properties, how to find them, how to analyze them, how to control them, how to time the process of due diligence and closing creatively, and how to strategize to take them to the highest and best use. We call that the FACT system: find, analyze, control, time, and strategize. So you got to know how to raise capital and make more in 1 year than you've made in your entire life. I can tell you this, those that want to do this, I'm doing a live event on January 22, 23, 24. You don't have to look at the calendar. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to explain to everybody during the live event in details. I teach my own events. I don't send anybody there. I am the one there from 9 a.m. in the room all the way till 5 or 6. We make sure everybody gets it. We have the biggest success stories. I don't do a lot of live events because I'm busy doing the deals. But let me tell you, I'm going to explain to you how to set up your own joint ventures if you want to do smaller deals. I'm going to show you how to structure your own syndications if you want to grow very big. But I'm going to teach you, most importantly, the SEC rules that help us and how they apply to your real estate transaction. The SEC rules, the government rules, help me scale my game to over $100 million. And some people complain about Obama, complain about the government. They don't know what to do with Trump and all this. Forget all this noise. Focus on the opportunities we have right here, right now, in your own backyard, with your own talents, with your own connections and the connections you will make. I'm going to show you how to apply the power of fund of funds. I'm going to show you how to create a structure, and the structure itself attracts the strategies, attracts the deals, attracts other people that want to partner with you, and I'll show you how to partner with them, because you can partner with me and see how I, as an expert in syndication, can help you make it. It is the future of real estate investing. And you can go to cherifmedawar.com/New York 2016. We're doing that event in New York. Of course, it's going to be in Manhattan. It's just an incredible, incredible city. We have such a great database of students in New Jersey, DC area, Boston, New York, and I'm fascinated to see. We had announced this on Facebook, and we already have so many people that are coming to the event. I have to limit the space so we can get a lot of time to interact. What we do, so you know, we sit in round tables. I want you to bring your laptop. I'm going to show you how to research for deals. I'm going to show you how to network. I'm going to show you how the SEC work certain deals. This is going to be a very interactive training. You be the judge, session by session. What happens to you is your mind expands. The opportunities unfold and appear in front of you. Because here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover the business models for residential. This is the latest and the best way to do residential real estate in today's market. We're talking 2016 here. That's day one. Very powerful. How to find the properties, analyze them, the whole thing. Day 2, I'm going to talk about syndications, how to syndicate, what the rules are, how to do a business plan, and how to join me if you want to syndicate with me. I already have it up and running. We do what's called co-syndication. This is limited to very few people, of course, but I want you to see what's out there. And on day 3, I'm going to talk about discount notes. Huge backdoor to foreclosures, huge way to have cash flow secured by real estate. So we're going to talk about finding the deals and opportunities, analyzing the numbers and the trends. I'm going to tell you the best ways to negotiate. We have fun with this. We do some role playing. I'm going to talk to you about how to draft certain clauses in contracts. These are not like crazy out there. These are things I would accept as a seller and I would actually place in as a buyer. Time to process the deals. I'll show you how to do the basic due diligence, the creative financing, and the acquisition to close. And I'm going to share with you how to systematize the entire thing, automate it to step back and scale it and make the maximum profits. It's called my FACT system. I have a patent on it. I set up this in 2003, set up my fund in 2009, and now we keep growing, and I want to share the success with you on how to find the best deals in the market that are priced lower than market value and how to act on the business model. You got to have a system to make money over and over and over. I hear about these flukes. Somebody found a deal from a guy that died and whatever. I am talking about duplicatable business models that you can join me in and make money and bring in investor with us. I will share with you in the live event. I will use my definition, concept, business model, and action. It shows proven results. I don't lose anybody if I have advanced people in the room or novice in the room. They get the definition, they get the concept, they see my business models that made me millions, and they are ready to take action, either with me or their own. You can do whichever. You can go on your own. We'll give you all the support. You want to join me? Boom, we turbo the results. There is full interaction, so I want you to bring your laptop. Don't give me an excuse. Bring your laptop. We already paid a lot of money to the Waldorf Astoria to have the whole thing wired in for us, wireless, internet, Wi-Fi. Bring your laptop. You'll be connected, and I'll show you how to start researching and how to actually present to the group, etc. We're going to focus on execution. This is not theory out there. We want execution. What is safe? What is ethical? What's profitable? I get very excited about this because nobody in one event covers all the residential you need to take action, all the syndication to be able to immediately get into the game of being a sponsor, a syndicator. You could actually, within 30 days of leaving the event, see the same people you're seeing now and tell them you are a fund manager and your co-sponsor, Cherif Medawar, has over $100 million in assets, and we're working this and that, and we have the fund filed with the SEC. We'll have a website with your name and everything. It's just extremely powerful. Discount notes, so many people want to understand the changes that happen with notes, how to carry the notes, etc. I'll show you. I'll break the code for you. I'll show you how to hack the system in a legal, profitable, and safe way. So day 1, we spend the time finding the deals, talking about how to find partners, contractors, how to find the buyers and or renters. And then we're going to talk about analyzing the numbers. What numbers would make sense for us, and how does it work for residential? And I'll talk also about apartment buildings because I consider that part of residential. Now, after lunch, we're going to talk about how to negotiate the deals and create win-win creative financing offers. This is so important. It's all about communication. You'll be amazed. Just a simple idea can help you make a deal. I was negotiating a deal with someone. Just give you an example right now. Negotiating a deal. The guy wants X. I said, I want to pay Y. He wants up. I want down. And then I said, hey, listen. He said, no deal. He started to hyperventilate. He's just very short fuse. I said, hey, how about if I do an option on the building, make you payment, lease toward the purchase price, and then give me 1 year, and I will spend some improving the property. He thought about it. He said, what if you, after you improve it, you don't exercise your option to buy it? I said, you have to keep my money. All the money I'm spending on the option purchase and all the money I'm spending to rehab the property. He said, you got a deal. We drafted a simple contract with the attorney at $300 an hour. It's peanuts for the actual deal itself. We got in and actually started investing. Instead of putting a down payment and rehabbing the building, I got in And I started actually making option payments towards the purchase price. There's no interest payments there, and my actual money went into rehabbing the building, which increased the price of the building. I was able to go to the bank 9 months later, get a full loan to buy him with no down payment and cash back my money out. And the property's renting now, providing cash flow. See, simple concept, simple idea, how to negotiate, how to structure win-win. Imagine you're doing that and you have the cash because you are in syndication. Phenomenal stuff. I'm going to share with you some creative ways. And the day one, I want you to know, I also have Puerto Rico, New York office will have the platform after lunch to speak for an hour about tax incentives. It's going to blow your mind what the government is offering today. These are little known strategies for tax reductions that are legal and blessed by Congress. I'm going to show you how to pay 15% flat tax. I don't care if you make $1 million, $2 million, $10 million a year. And people ask me, how did you grow so fast? Guess what? I make the money that other developers and big syndicators make. The only difference is they end up like in California, New York, and other places. They pay federal tax, state tax, Obamacare tax, and I pay way less than them. Why? I pay 15%. How come, Cherif? How do you do it? Is it legal? Yes. Through Puerto Rico, the U.S. territory, U.S. possession, and you don't have to hear it from me. Hear it from the government representative themselves. They're so excited. They actually gave me a government-approved entity, and they will talk about it. You get to ask the government directly. These are tax attorneys, and there is nothing more powerful than this. So you will see day one between the strategies we're going to brainstorm on and the latest techniques that are happening in the market, and how I make money and how we can do this, and the government presentation. It's going to be phenomenal. And at the end of day one, we're going to have a little cocktail party. We're going to have my book signing event. Just really exciting day. On day two, we're going to start with definition and concept of syndication. I want to give you the most up-to-date strategies to raise money. Guys, this is the future of real estate. I pretty much guarantee you. What's better, to find a deal that you can't have, or to have $1 million sitting in the bank account? You tell me. That $1 million, you'll find 10 people willing to pay you money for it. And if you know how to actually deploy that capital yourself in a safe way, secured, you pay investors and you get paid. And I'll show you exactly how to do this, show you the step-by-step what's happening with the business model of a private placement memorandum. We're going to have lunch together. We usually have the lunch all ready and planned. So when we go, everybody sits down. They have the food for you. Boom, you eat, you pay, you run back to the room. So in 45 minutes, we're back in business. Very intense. I love the activity of the events. I don't do many of these events, so when I do the event, I give it my all. I film it. I stay in the room until everybody answers the question. You guys get to interact together. You will meet people that are like-minded, that are advanced, that are actually doing their own stuff. And you're going to learn how to take action to succeed, how to pitch your offer. I'm going to actually, if you have a good deal, I want to bring it to the room so we can discuss it. We can talk specifically as if you're pitching your offer. You know what pitching is? Is you present your offer to raise capital. I'm going to show you how we do it. I'm going to show you how I do a 60-second pitch and I raise millions. You will not meet anybody that has started from scratch and has gone as far as I have gone. I don't know if you know, I even talk about how anyone that has just done one flip, one small real estate deal, can get into syndication and go ahead and raise $100 million, blessed by the government, blessed by the system. But you better know what you're doing, because you got to be really good at this game. And I'm going to show you creative ways to succeed, because you can co-syndicate with me. Already have the structure, have the business model, have been up and running for 6 years, have prior performance with the SEC, and I can create instant credibility for you if that's what you want to do. If not, you want to go on your own, God bless. I'll show you exactly how you do it. All I ask you is, give me a success story, like we have over 1,000 success stories on YouTube. Heck, go on YouTube right now and put Cherif Medawar. And you be the judge. See how many people are talking about they made money with my systems. But this, I've never done this before. The co-syndication business, having in one event residential syndications and notes, having the government come in and speak, extremely powerful. On day 3, this is a very exciting day, because I'm going to define the concept and go through the concept of discount notes. I want you to understand discount notes because you can create your own notes, you can buy notes, you can sell notes, you can assign notes. Huge business model. I'll also share with you the asset protection. I have the ultimate asset protection program. It's the simplest. You don't have to set up a lot of LLCs. You don't have to worry about cash. You don't have to worry about your business. You don't have to even worry what happens when you die or when you sell a property. You don't have to transfer the property. I'm going to show you the simplest, most powerful program. And if anybody has tracked me before last year when we talked about asset protection in 2014, we've had judges on webinars that I've interviewed. They said this is the best asset protection program they've seen in the country. It is blessed by federal code, and nobody, if you follow exactly what I'm going to show you, nobody will be able to take one penny from you. And it's extremely simple. You will see how it's done. Anyway, I got too excited about it, but also I will wrap up the day by showing you how the tax incentives that the government had presented for you could work for you in a smaller scale. If you make 150,000 to 100,000, you can save tremendous amount of money. And what will you do with the saving? What if you save 20%? What does that mean? You saved 20%, okay? So let's say you're having 100,000 income, and now that was your net, but now you have 120,000 because you saved. See, you were paying tax and netting 100, so now you don't have to pay that. You paid less, and now you're netting 120. It's like you made 20%. So if you save 20, you made 20. What if you also invest that and you make another 8? So wait a minute. Now you didn't just make 20, you made 28. Okay, so what happens when you compound that? Because you keep saving taxes, and as you compound the results, what happens is, as you save money, and I'll show you how to save, by the way, 30-some% on the taxes. That means instead of working 15 more years, you'll work 10. And if you invest the money, you'll work maybe 5 because of the compounding effect. So whatever your plan is to achieve, if it's 3, cut it to 1. If it's 15, cut it to 5. I think you're getting the point. Let me tell you, in 2003, when I discovered this and I started applying the tax incentives, I thought from 2003, I figured by maybe 2013 I'll be extremely wealthy. By 2006, I had over 50 million in net worth. I had compounded the results so much. I remember it was just like, but what have I done differently? Nothing. I just had some tax savings. I've always protected my assets because that brings you the cash flow. And of course, in 2009 is when I thought, let me create a structure for other people to join me and let me turbo the results. And in 2009, we started teaching syndication and started growing the game. And when you think of the greater good, people want to join you, want to give you more money, and that's how we grew. And I'll share that with you and show you how we've done it, how even my website sites are set up for people to work with me and grow with me. It's totally different than anything else you would see out there. So who should come to the training? Who should actually take the next step for this? Real estate investors, and that includes those that are very seasoned, those that are starting, real estate brokers, agents, real estate owners, business owners, landlords. So if you own real estate and you're landlords, so you have tenants, rehabbers, those that buy and flip, mortgage brokers, those are in the business, loan originators, underwriters, those that work for escrow companies, appraisers, bankers. God, last time we had the Wells Fargo team attend, and it was just incredible because they were coming up with suggestions for us, and it's just really nice. And they said, well, we would like to meet with the people who'd like to work with you. And once you understand how banks work again, I mean, wealth is a skill based on numbers, and I'll show you the numbers. Certified financial planners, certified public accountants, and other financial professionals, all these people would love to see what we're going to share. I don't think anyone in the country can give you more cutting-edge knowledge and access to making the deals like I do. I'll give you access to making the deals. You can join me under the exemption rules and be able to turbo the results that you want to make things happen. Those seeking to grow by syndicating their business model. So I want you to, for a second, project yourself into the future. And a lot of people are whatever they are, but I want you to think what you could be, what you'd become. You could become a syndicator. That's the difference between working hard, getting one deal at a time, or getting 2 deals and trying to rehab them, or creating a structure that actually gets other people to do the deals. As you raise money, you focus on the relationship part, the fun part, and the structure of how to manage the fund and make the biggest money possible with the least amount of time and effort. So I want you to think of who you can become and how you can do things differently to have a bigger game that benefits everybody, so you can give back. Give back to your family, give back time. I mean, thank God, since 2008, I've been living by the beach. I go to Cancun a lot. I live beachfront. I have time with my kids, and I have time to manage my funds. I fly to San Francisco, where I have my fund every few weeks and manage the deals. I talk to people on Skype, on the phone, and make all this stuff happen. So it's just an opportunity for you to look at life in a different way. And if you're asking, what have I been doing? I mean, a lot of people are asking, why? Cherif, you used to do a lot of events. What happened? We haven't seen you except 3 times last year. Well, I have been busy. Look at this property here on the right side. The address is 101 Maple Street, San Francisco, California. You can look it up online, Google it. 101 Maple, M-A-P-L-E Street. This property, we got it. We rehabbed it. We bought it, by the way, from the Dropbox people, the people that own Dropbox. They own this property in Presidio Heights, one of the top neighborhoods in the country. We rehabbed it. Now it's for sale at $12 million. This right here is Clay, 3323-25 Clay property, Clay Street, San Francisco. We got it for less than $6 million, rehabbed it for a couple million. Now it's for sale at $11 million. I mean, let me tell you, these are investors here. They're the investors in my fund. You get to see them all standing here. We did a little event on the property we're buying, 2470 Broadway. It's called the Billionaires Row. Beautiful view. That property is going to sell for $15 million. Here I am right here. I don't know if you could see me. Just a dot there in the background. And all these investors, some of them put as little as $25,000 in the fund. Some put several millions in the fund. But guess what? The fund now, with the group power, the power of the team, the power of people putting their money together with an expert like me, who is well connected, who knows what to do, who has the credit, who has the leverage, who has the experience, we're able to do deals that are worth millions and millions of dollars, and everybody gets the return. They have less exposure, less hassles. Some of them are high-tech people. Some of them are professionals, a couple of attorneys. These people are busy in their profession. They make money. They don't want to be in the stock market. They don't want to be in silver or gold or waste their time. They just want to put it in safe, secure, cash-flowing real estate, where they can cash their money on a phone call within 18 months, where they can actually reinvest more money and compound it. They can invest their 401k money, pension fund money, IRA money, and here is the crew. Here is the architect Ravi, Nile, who's working the day-to-day in the projects. Look at these guys. These are hard-working people. Every day there, we work 7 days a week, get the projects done faster and cheaper than anybody, and sell at top dollars with multiple offers. These properties will sell, you will see, first quarter this year at top dollars with multiple offers. And we've done it in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and now 2016. Now, so let's talk about the Real Estate Roundtable experience, that event we have coming up. It's a 3-day live training. The 3 days, I want you to come in Friday. You can leave Sunday evening. And let me tell you, you can stay in the hotel if you want. We have a special deal with the hotel, but here is the price, $997. One ticket into the event. Copy of my brand new book, $1 Million Recipes to Real Estate Wealth. We've done a radio show on this last year. It was a great success. You're going to get a copy of it. Training workbook, only available to attendees. I know some people say, I'm going to pay you, I want to do this. Can you send me the workbook? No. This is available to the attendees. You take notes in there. One-on-one consultation regarding your pending or future transactions. I'm always around. During the event, I'm there. Full interaction, research, and analysis. I'm going to do something for the VIP. VIP upgrade, those that get it done right away, VIP seating, $197 additional, one ticket to enter the cocktail and networking event that evening on Friday, immediate access to my $1 Million Recipes to Real Estate Wealth book. We'll give you that online. We even have an audio for it, and book signing event and photo. We can take photos together. By the way, full interaction with me. I want you to bring your laptop. We're going to do the research. We're going to do individual presentations, because as you research, you stand up and you have a flip chart. I'll show you how to do it. Because you research, we brainstorm, you stand there, you present to the whole group. And don't worry, don't stress out. We will have, like maybe just 70 people in the room, and it's all round tables, so it's like 8 tables, etc. And we're going to do case studies, so you get to see how it applies, and role playing, so you can see yourself doing it. Very important, very powerful. So CMREI, we're launching it 2018, what I'm calling the Live Real Estate Roundtable, live 3-day training, $997, VIP upgrade $197. The total is $1,194, $1,194. And let me tell you, those that want to come in for the 3-day event, you call today, you call right now, the number in my office, 407-608-5448. You'll get it for $199 only, 80% discount. You save $798. Why am I doing this? Because you have to pay for parking. No, because I want you to be there. I want you to learn. I'll give you 2 bonuses: VIP upgrade free and 1 guest pass free. Bring a friend, bring your CPA, bring your partner, bring somebody who will encourage you to do the deeds. Bring somebody who is suspicious about the future of real estate. Bring somebody who needs training, knowledge. Bring somebody who can help you go to the next level. Reserve your spot now. The price is valid for today only. 407-608-5448, $199. Bring a friend, make it happen. Again, January 22nd, 23rd, 24th. It's going to be in Manhattan. It's going to be at the top hotel, the Waldorf Astoria. Your investment is only $200 in yourself and in your friend. So $199, 407-608-5448. And we can also talk to you about blocking some rooms at the hotel. You can get them at a discount. Here is, for example, Steven. Steven came in to a training, came in, joined my fund, the Makes It Fund. You see the brand right here back there. And then started growing with us, and then decided to branch out on his own and created his own fund. And now he came back in a co-syndication to go into a bigger way to work with us. By the way, this is my family. That it's my wife to my right, my daughter Erica, my son Max. This was at the event we did in San Francisco, and they came in because I have a home there, and it was just took pictures together with everybody as we were giving away the books, and it was just a lot of fun. Guys, I want you to understand. I mean, you think of all the people out there that are trying to join crowdfund, have no idea what's out there. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you how we have a crowdfund structure that you can benefit from. Because if you, as a newbie, as somebody who's flipping homes or doing whatever deals, trying to go list your deal on a crowdfund, they want seasoned people. They don't want to take that risk. They even brag about looking at 1,000 deals and posting one on their site. I'll show you how we can reverse that game. I'll show you how, working with me, you can go to the big game and raise millions and millions of dollars. And if your mind you can wrap your mind around millions of dollars in deals, let me tell you, in real estate, you can do one deal for $500,000, or one deal for $5 million, or one deal for $50 million. Why? Because it's one deal. You can do a shopping mall, a hotel, or a small house, or a small condo, or a land development. So having the right structure is to raise capital is by far the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your loved ones. I want you to get into the game, and I want you to have a complete different perception and perspective on what's coming out in the market next, especially now that I've changed the game and I'm creating these co-syndication opportunities. So your discount is today at the $199. Get your ticket, 407-408-5448. It's going to be at the Waldorf Astoria. I'm so excited that we were able to block the space we need, get the block of rooms for you guys at an incredible discount. I think the block of rooms less than $200 a room, when at the Waldorf you pay double that. But, we knew what we're going to get. We knew that it's going to be great for everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all and making the 2016 the year you've been dreaming of. Complete transformation, and finally working hand in hand with me. I want to thank you all. Looking forward to seeing you at the Waldorf.